South Jersey bad boys. Hit them with the classic.
Yeah, classic. A lot of people don't know what to expect. They don't know if they're getting the first round of the American Idol. You know, like a Rihanna impression that I did last week. It was pretty spot on. But
Sam was cracking up at that, by the way. She was like, first of all, the fact that Dan like doesn't know Rihanna at all is hilarious.
I know that song. I know the Pump Up the DJ. I know the
pretty close.
5 seconds of something. Yeah, you know,
Yep.
I know the hits. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good time coming up with a Super Bowl. But, you know, with all this great stuff, there are still people trying to tear down comedians. People are getting fired for doing stand-up comedy. Isn't that fucking ridiculous?
Yeah, man. I just heard you fill me in earlier today with something that's going on in the local scene with a comedian.
Local
pretty
scene.
crazy.
He shared it around Reddit into a lot of very applicable areas about what happened, and we're gonna give him a ring here in a minute. He's out like in between sets at like an open mic and said like, yeah, like call me. So I'm gonna make sure that he can.
He's got all the time in the world now.
He's like Johnny No Jobs from the Handsome Idiots. We were talking about it in our local or what's their name of their podcast now?
It's called.
It's
That Stinks or something.
I'm not a whore, but I put out something like that. Yeah,
I don't know.
He was like, "Oh, I got to go through my stuff," and it's like, "You're gonna get fired from the job you don't have." It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, man. He's now a full-time podcaster, not by choice.
Yeah, not by choice. But yeah, with this local comic, I'll have him introduce his whole story and just say what happened. But essentially, his work found out that he was doing stand-up online, and they lost their fucking shit and fired him. No questions asked. They didn't want to hear a rebuttal. They didn't want to hear anything. And
do you know what he does? I can't remember if he says it in the post.
He does, and I'm not sure what part of the business. I mean, pretty sure he works for WHYY. Which is owned, I believe, by PBS. He worked for like a publication, a part of that. And
that's what they used to put out Arthur on, right?
Yeah. And
Arthur.
I think that side of things.
That was good material.
It was really good. I loved watching Arthur. Yeah.
The Aardvark.
The Aardvark. And apparently they're just going to start railing down the personal lives of people that work for said company.
Wow. So
I'll let him dive into what he thinks there. But I mean, have you heard of this happening with people losing their jobs over it? Because
I don't know. I mean, I'm positive that it's happened.
Oh yeah.
Anybody like in our circle, I haven't heard of that yet.
Yeah.
It does feel pretty crazy. Where I mean, you and I were talking about it, but what you do in your free time feels like that should be totally up to you. And stand up, if you decide to do that, it's art. Unfortunately, nobody looks at it that way.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, if you're in a hardcore band and you do that in your free time, can you get fired for that because you're into, screamo music that might not be appropriate or whatever it is? I'm trying to think of an example, but like, could you get fired for something like that? But for some reason with stand up, people don't take that hobby so lightly. They're like, they take it seriously, even though it's the opposite of.
And I think it's because like it's literally talking into a microphone and they don't see anything unique about that or special about that. So they're just like, yeah, you're just saying offensive things into a microphone. How dare you do that when you work for us? And, and he'll talk about it. I'm sure I never knew he worked there. He's never mentioned them in his set. He doesn't talk about them.
Yeah, of course not. I think that stand-up has just caught a bad rap now where it's almost like synonymous with cancel culture, and companies who are not really as tuned in, they just think that where they're like, somebody's doing stand up, if they say something offensive and they go viral and they that's going to be a reflection on us, and it's stupid.
It's absolutely stupid with the amount of different things that like other employees of the same company probably do in their free time, but because they don't put a video of it on the internet, it's like, as stand up, like that's the only way now. Unfortunately, I don't want to put my entire set on Instagram or YouTube, but that's how you gain people. That's how you gain traction. That's how people see that you actively are doing stand up. And he does it, a lot of it, writes a lot of it and everything. And
it's just annoying that you can't spend your free time how you'd like without having to worry about, if you're constantly going to get fired. If you're not breaking the law and you're not doing, you're into comedy. It's a fun thing to do. Some people are comedy nerds. They're, as fans.
Yeah.
Why can't you just be into whatever you want and do what you want? Certain jobs, maybe I can think of examples where, maybe that would be a conflict of interest. But
if you're running for Congress or something and you're making statements for like what you're going to do to turn the county,
even that, it's like if you're doing stand up and you're up there joking.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at fucking Trump was our president, dude. He was a reality TV star. It's like, who gives a fuck at the end of the day? Like,
and he was a wild open micer. Essentially, he was an open micer that got to be a president, and he's just letting it fly up there.
No, yeah, I mean, he had risen above the open mic ranks. I mean, he was crushing it he was a television star.
Yeah. And I was talking with somebody related to this maybe a week ago about Louis C.K. because there was some girl that blew up online for making a TikTok with Louis C.K. sold out the Madison Square Garden, a huge sign right behind her. And she's talking very sarcastically into her phone, doing like a selfie video saying like, oh, it's terrible that guys just get canceled because they say obscene things and they just, go off into the distance, never to be seen or heard from ever again, all this stuff. And she's doing it sarcastically because it's Louis that sold out the thing. I was like, saying that Louis C.K., who was on the top of the comedy world for a long time and has millions of fans, obviously people are going to come back to him like that. Now, somebody in this local comics instance, he doesn't have those massive amount of fans, and he has a corporation telling him like, you better shut the fuck up or else, we're going to fire you. And they just straight up did. Like, that's where somebody does, and it's like they don't have a fan base to help support them.
Yeah, and it could ruin his whole life. I mean, that's your job. You're not making money. I mean, another extreme version of that, which, we don't need to get into it too much because I feel like people have talked about it ad nauseum, but, with Shane Gillis, like he always mentions this, but it's a perfect example where he's like, when I got canceled, I don't know if he was the first, but he was definitely one of the first to get canceled who wasn't famous yet. He didn't have anything to fall back on. He was like, I was doing open mics and then I get this one big opportunity and then I get canceled. And people are like, well, he wound up better off for it. It's like, yeah, like maybe, like, luckily because he's really talented and he's really good at stand up and figured out a way. But also, is that for you to say? What if he really wanted to be on Saturday Night Live? I'm sure there was a part of him that did. And then he gets all of that taken away and that completely canceled, and then you're back living in your parents' house. It's like people. There are some big consequences, and to some of this for people to be like, oh, like it has no effect on these guys that get canceled. They do that. They're completely fine. Not always.
Yeah.
There's a guy like Jad who we're gonna call who lost his fucking job. Yeah, because he's doing open mics.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That is pretty insane. And I can see where you gotta share the content. You gotta show people that when they go look at your stuff to see that you're actively doing it. You're posting new stuff. You're
figuring it out.
Yeah, you're figuring it out. I think he's a year or two in.
It's part of the game. It's part of stand up now.
That's how it's played. Yeah, and it's not like he's doing that on the side and like making money from it enough to support. Like, you have to be a pretty big deal, not pretty big deal, but like you have to know what you're doing and be many years in before you can live off of it. I
wonder specifically for his job too, why they would even find it to be a conflict of interest, which we can ask him.
Yeah. What did they say there?
Let's give him a ring a ding ding.
Try and give him a call right now, and we'll get to the conversation with him.
Hello?
Hey, Jad, it's Dan.
Oh shit, bro! I think I'm up in like 4.
Oh, you're up in 4 minutes. Okay, just give me a call when you're off stage and when you get out.
All right, cool.
All right, thanks. I figured that was gonna happen.
Well, he's getting after it.
He is getting after it. That's all he can
do at this point.
Yeah, So I'll wait for
him.
He's out there doing open mics. I assume on the day that he got fired. So we'll wait for him to call back. So let's get into some of the stuff that's going on here. Did you see that? Tom Brady announced his retirement, but he already got a massive contract to go into announcing for Fox Sports.
How much money did he get?
I have it open right here. And he's taking a year off too. He's not doing it for the 2023 season. He's doing it for the 2024 season. 10 years, $375 million.
Oh my God, dude.
And he bought a pickleball league. Did you know that?
He did?
He bought a pickleball league in Florida.
What is pickleball?
Pickleball, I feel like, is a cross between ping pong and tennis.
Okay.
But it's like doubles. It's a small court with smaller paddles, and it's like a square, not like a long rectangle.
Okay.
But like you have 2 people on each side, and I don't know the rules to it, but that's what it looks like to me. And it's a big old person sport.
He's just looking to stay competitive.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to not be competitive. Some people are now arguing whether or not he's going to be good in the booth, which is funny because Greg Olsen, he's calling the Super Bowl, former tight end for the Carolina Panthers largely. You got him in the booth. You got Tony Romo in the booth. Now you got Brady coming into the booth.
Yeah.
And I know that there's always been former athletes announcing for many years because they add a level to the announcing that like you don't normally get. They see things and know things that, fucking Chris Collinsworth doesn't know.
Yeah. Well,
So-
he actually is a former player, Collinsworth.
Oh, well, fuck him. How about Joe Buck? Joe Buck, that's what I'm
Everyone
talking
shits
about.
on Collinsworth. I actually kind of like Collinsworth.
I actually don't mind him
I mean,
either.
he's always talking about how giant the players' hands are, and
Yeah,
how
maybe that's why I thought he wasn't a player.
look at the keister on that running back. Now those thighs are just thick, and that is how he gets so much power from that bottom. He's always talking like that, saying like very alluding to like sexual things. But I actually like Collinsworth. I think he's great. Greg Olsen looks like fucking He-Man, and he's got kind of a high voice for how jacked he is.
Yeah. No,
like-
he does. Dude.
Yeah.
And the thing that I looked at the comments of this article talking about it, they're comparing him, like these sports freaks are comparing them like they're playing, but now it's retired guys. They're like, oh no, Greg Olsen's going to have a few years under his belt before Brady comes into the booth. So by the time
That's
he's going to
funny.
develop enough. And I'm like, oh, you guys are comparing them like they're active players, but they're in the
Right.
booth. That's literally all it is that like he's going to have the experience, the contract, like it's all...
You can't get away from the criticism, but yeah, Brady, whatever he does, he's going to be amazing at it.
Oh yeah, because he's one of those guys that is so competitive and just wants to fucking win everything.
Yeah.
He's the guy that you hated in gym class.
Although you look at a guy like Michael Jordan, and you would think the same thing, and he's been an owner of what is now the Bobcats,
Mm-hmm.
or no, I'm sorry, the Hornets. Used to be the Bobcats.
Yeah.
And he's like as an owner, he hasn't been very successful.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if he's owner or GM. I'm pretty sure he's the owner. But you would think that he would have had some sort of dynasty by now, but he really hasn't been as successful as an owner or like kind of coach or, in that regard.
Yeah.
Which is surprising.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those, like, what do you do from the ownership standpoint that you could be, like, you can be competitive and go out and get guys and do all that stuff.
Yeah,
but-
I think it's like you can't force the players to have the same mindset that you did or play the way that you played. So
not
there's
teachable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do and so much you can control.
Mm-hmm. So we're turning into a sports podcast now. This is turning interesting. I do like how I share any of the Eagles clips, and you can see likes and dislikes on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Those have the highest amount of dislikes on them because if somebody doesn't like the Eagles, they're like, fuck you. And they're going to click the dislike.
I had a guy randomly DM me.
Oh, shit.
Last
The DMs are going to open.
I love the unsolicited DMs from non-comedians, people who've never been on stage, and they give me advice on my act. Just got a quick one. Now, I didn't shit on this guy because I think he was drunk and he was kind of admitting that he was a fan, but also very insulting.
Does he know you?
No,
But it's on your
he's
stand-up.
He's from Kansas City, apparently. But just randomly DMs me, and he goes, "Deadpan is your bread and butter. Don't laugh at your own jokes during your set. Your edginess will be tenfold, and you can thank me later. Love your jokes. Go Chiefs." So I go, "Dang, go Birds." And he goes, "I honestly just started following you. Didn't know your team. I live in Kansas City. We're banged up, and it's going to be a good game." And I just go, "Hell yeah," because I don't want to completely shit on him. And then he proceeds to tell me his skit ideas and sketch ideas that I should do. And this is his idea. I have a skit, something you should play around with, calling someone Imagine Dragons as a sign of disrespect or ragging on someone and referring to them as someone whose favorite band is Imagine Dragons. Rick is weird, man. He was breastfed until 12 and his favorite band is Imagine Dragons. I don't know. See if it works somewhere. Thanks, pal. I'll get back to you on that.
This AI is getting crazy that it can send you messages like this. That literally sounds like something somebody would put in, like, send someone an insult about Imagine Dragons, and then that's what it spits out.
I just love that he goes like, "Loved your set, but here's what you got to do."
Sounds
and
like
you
my
can
dad.
thank me later.
God.
Have you ever stepped foot on stage once in your life?
No, and that goes back to what we were talking
That'd be like
about.
you calling up Tom Brady and go, "Tom, love what you're doing.
But
Can I give you a couple of tips?
Yeah, can I give you what you got to do? Yeah, just
not that I'm referring to myself as Brady, but you get what I'm saying. Where it's like you've never played,
an organized sport before. That's why I love when you watch guys that get into NFL games, NBA games, whatever game. It's guys like us, or not guys like us, but like dudes 15 years older than us that are 100 pounds heavier, and they're sitting at home eating Doritos, and they're like, "Oh, that guy should have done this.
This guy sucks. Here's what I would have done if I was GM." It's like you couldn't even play D3, dude. I mean, so many of us are hypocrites of that.
Oh yeah,
it's hard not to, but it is funny when you really sit down and think about it, and how much just the average person will tear down and criticize these athletes, which has to be less than 1% of the entire population can even make it to that level.
Oh yeah,
and we sit back in our comfy chairs. Yeah, we go, "Oh, this guy fucking stinks." Dude.
Yeah, this guy fucking stinks. You're just laying in your recliner, just yelling out slurs.
Catch the ball. This guy fucking sucks.
That wasn't holding. Yeah, they just start screaming at the refs.
This guy doesn't know what he's doing.
It does actually, screaming at refs kind of does make sense at some point. But that's why I like watching TV or the games on TV from my house or someone's house. Like, I can't go to a crowded bar anymore because you run into those types of people at bars, and I'm just like, we're in a bar right now eating 50-cent wings. Like, we're nowhere near somebody that should be commenting on the physical strength of a lineman. Like,
as you get older too, and you start to look around, when you're in an environment like that, and you start to look around at your surroundings, and the more and more I realize, I'm like, you just seem like a fucking loser. It's like, don't get me wrong, I love sports. I fucking go Birds. First of all, Super Bowl coming up. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
I love sports, but like, guys paint, 40-year-old accountants painting his fucking face, and he's got another dude's name on his back, like, and they're just so, for a team that you don't even play for. When you really look at it, you take a step back, it is ridiculous at times.
I think the one thing about that I've turned into a much more casual sports fan. I've watched every single game, but I'm not somebody that goes to the game every single week's games, yells at shit, gets heated about things. I've become so much more casual, mainly because of stand-up.
It's a young man's game.
Yeah, mainly that, and because it's stand-up. Like, stand-up interferes with a lot of games. I missed a lot of things because I was doing stand-up at night. It's primetime stuff, but I think the one thing I hate the most, my biggest pet peeve with over-the-top sports fans, is when they say "we" with the team.
Oh my God.
When they talk about the Eagles, they're like, "Yeah, we just need to do this, and we need..." It's like, you don't work for the organization.
I know.
You
calling up Sirianni and go, "Look, I talked to Nick. Here's what we're thinking for Sunday."
Yeah. Here's what we're gonna do.
So many. I mean, WIP. I mean, you hear the people that call in, and it's like every single person in the city of Philadelphia is part of the team. Which, there's good and there's bad to that. It's like, you love the spirit, and you love how much people are into it. But I was like that at one point. Like, I remember even when I was younger and in college, I would get like visibly and physically angry at Pittsburgh fans that were playing the Flyers, or like Giants fans when we're playing the Eagles, and I'd be like ready to fight someone.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like,
what are we doing?
They root for where they live. You root for where you live.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. What does it matter? And then, you know what? When Dak Prescott went on the Cowboys, I always hated the Cowboys more than the Giants, but Dak Prescott, I started watching stuff about him, of his like character off the field and everything. And it's like, you got people out there yelling some of the worst things imaginable to say to somebody. And it's like, you're literally playing he's throwing a ball for the other team off the field. He's like donating his time and money to like really good causes. Seems like a genuinely good guy.
Was just hired by them too. It's not like he's,
Yeah. He played for where did he, one of the Mississippi or Ole Miss or one of those teams. It's like, it's not like he was none
of the people on your team are from, from Philadelphia or from Dallas.
That, and I hate the hip. This is just going to turn into sport. We're coming up on the biggest weekend for the Eagles.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a little Super Bowl Sunday, preview.
Do you hate this as well, where people on the Eagles side? This is what's turned me off. We were in South Philly when they won the Super Bowl. Had a Super Bowl party at our house, a block off Broad Street. We went fucking crazy. It was the best month of my life because it was nonstop partying. However, the year or two after the Super Bowl. And even up to now, 5 years after that they won the Super Bowl, Eagles fans are still nonstop talking about beating Tom Brady and the score and all this stuff. They're turning into the Cowboys fans that didn't shut the fuck up about the Cowboys dynasty in the 70s.
Yeah.
It's like you guys are turning into the exact people that never shut up about the past. I was like, you won, it happened. After that following year where you were the reigning champs, it should stop.
Yeah.
And like people still talk about it. They get it tattooed on their wrist. I was like, guys, you weren't on the team. Like,
right.
You don't have the Letterman's jacket. You were a fan.
The only difference is we're back, baby. We're back.
Now we're back.
The bowl.
Now it's all back there. You can shit on the Cowboys fans as much as you want. Shitting on the other fans is where it is. Not the other players or everything. I don't know why. I've pulled back on that side of it. As much as I love the biggest insult that somebody yelled at a player, which really stuck with me, was one of Rachel's friend's husbands at a Cincinnati Reds Phillies game. We were like the only ones there in April. It was freezing cold. Joey Votto was warming up in the batter's box, and he just yells at the top of his lungs, "Votto drives a Kia!" And everybody, Joey Votto turned around and he was like, "What the fuck was that for?" Everybody else is dying laughing. Now that is an insult I can get behind.
That's the perfect insult when you say something that's so obscure that the players like. They have to get defensive because they're like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
Is this Jad said?
I have no idea. It's a random number. I have his number saved. Let's see what happens.
Hi, this is an exclusive announcement from Costco Travel. Yeah. Your telephone number was pre-selected to receive a complimentary stay in a 5-star hotel.
Wow.
For further details, press 0 now. If you wish to be placed on the...
Got a honeymoon coming up.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna come in excited, like pretty over the top. Like,
yeah, do it.
I can't believe this. 5-star hotel?
Yeah.
All right. I like the music.
I love it.
They're like, you know what's really gonna get people bought in? If we have a better jingle.
You know what's
while they're waiting.
You know what would be great? We should call people and then put them on hold for a scam.
Yeah.
Have you ever waited on hold for a scam before?
Yeah. You're about to see it.
Holding?
Hey.
Oh, they hung up.
They do that shit all the time, dude.
Why'd they hang up?
I don't know why they do it. I feel like sometimes they'll accidentally call me and I'll accidentally answer.
Thank you for using Angie. Please press 5 to be connected to your service provider.
Call her back.
I tried calling. That was what it was. That's not going to put us through to anybody.
Damn.
What the fuck?
I was excited about my 5-star hotel.
Did you see in the
thought I was going to Cancun.
Cancun. We were going to go down to Wildwood of the South. Yeah. Did you see that there is a South Jersey guy playing in the Super Bowl?
Who?
Vineland's Isaiah Pacheco. He's from Vineland. He's the starting running back for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
And he went to Rutgers. And you know what happens when former Rutgers running backs get to the Super Bowl.
They knock out
They knock out their other opponent. They fucking win. Ray Rice won the Super Bowl, and now this guy's going to bring it back home for Rutgers running backs.
That's right.
Well, yeah, but Ray Rice, I believe, was the last Rutgers running back to get to the Super Bowl. So we'll see if they repeat.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been busy.
I have looked into him.
Is he in jail?
No, he didn't go to jail. He's still married and has 2 kids with the woman that he knocked out.
What?
I was reading what Ray Rice has been up to. He's been basically coaching at a high school that he went to in New Rochelle, New York, up there where Joe Reese lives.
Wow.
So he's been coaching high school football, doing a little of this, little of that. But his wife, they got married 3 months after he was indicted, I believe, for that incident.
Yeah, he clocked her cold, man.
Yeah.
That video is hard to watch.
It is. It was in the Revel Casino. I mean, rest in peace. It's now the Ocean Resorts. But
yeah, that's the real tragedy of the situation in Dan's mind. He's like, rest in peace to the casino.
Rest in peace to the casino.
Hope she's okay.
I hope she's doing good. I wish you well. But she said a few months later, she's like, I've known him since we were 15 years old, and I know it was basically that he was out of line and out of character, and it was out of character a little bit. Usually he's doing that to his opponents, not his wife. You guys play for the same team, right?
Yeah. CTE? Did he claim CTE?
He definitely could, but CTE is one of those things that they really can't determine until after you're dead, unfortunately. So unless they want to do an autopsy on Ray while living, which there could be worse things to happen. But
crazy titties, eh? That's CTE. They don't do that to you.
Did you ever see that movie with Will Smith that did the CTE stuff that came out years ago?
No, but I heard a rumor that the NFL actively tried to, like Roger Goodell tried to actively suppress that movie.
Yeah.
Or is that what it's about?
It's about Will Smith around the doctor that discovered CTE. And I actually heard a rumor similar to that Will Smith gave Chris Rock CTE with that slap. Yeah. So I think there's rumors have been flying about it. But I think the NFL did actively try and suppress that entire thing.
But is the movie about the NFL trying to suppress him, the doctor that's trying to get the word out?
Yeah.
Or did they make that movie and the NFL tried to suppress that movie?
I think the NFL was pissed about the movie, but the movie did follow the doctor going in and out of bringing it to the NFL and the NFL trying to shut up the doctor about it.
Even after the movie, that still did nothing to the NFL.
Like, I was just going to say,
I feel like nobody's seen it.
A year after the movie, everybody was right back to normal. And I always go back to the one clip of Bill Burr on Conan. He was just like, the commissioner of the NFL could punt a baby across his office with his wingtips on, and I would still watch on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, it's largely like, but now you see what they did do is they changed the game a lot. Damar Hamlin, the guy that was knocked out on the field, not knocked out, had the heart attack on the field, went unconscious for a little.
Yeah,
he got kicked.
Uncle Roy.
Yeah, he hit
Steiner.
Uncle Roy with that beer stein right in his ticker. Yeah, he got ejected from a game earlier this past season. The season that just ended is going to end this weekend. He got ejected for targeting somebody with his helmet. He clocked a fucking guy in the end zone.
Yeah, and
the guy looked like he was knocked out for a minute. That same guy, they ejected him immediately. So the NFL is cracking down on those types of hits, the helmet stuff. They don't want it, so they're just ejecting dudes.
Yeah, I mean, you do see them obviously actively making some changes to the game to to lessen some of those blows, some of those big hits and the helmet to helmets and stuff like that. But you can't actively suppress new science and information out there because you think it's going to make you look bad, especially when people, like Junior Seau, kills themselves because of CTE and put the shotgun to his head.
I thought you were going to say especially because it's Will Smith. He made I Am Legend.
The guy is a legend.
Yeah. He can't fucking suppress just greatness. Yeah. Speaking of sports as well, we had a fan comment. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it this week, but we were talking Life Center. We were talking Paul VI. There's a pretty big showdown happening this Thursday over at Paul VI High School.
Alma mater.
Yeah, they
PVI till you die, some would say.
Some would say. Although this gentleman who commented on the podcast said that his daughter plays for Life Center, and Life Center is usually pretty good.
If it's an academy, I guarantee you they're gonna whoop some ass.
But your alma mater's got the number 5 guard in the country, and
really,
he said number 5 guard in the country. She's averaging 30 or 40 points a game. They just won over Camden 90-28 the other week. How do you put up 90 points in a high school girls basketball
That's
game?
Insane, dude.
You have to be, what is the math on that? What is 90 divided by 4? You got to be putting up a lot of points and consistently 4 quarters in a row.
Right.
Making shots you could be really good, but not reach 90 points.
Yeah, my God, especially for a women's game.
I think high school, not even women's guys, whatever, it's just the amount of time you have. I think high school quarters are 8 or 10 minutes. 12 max.
They're probably 12.
12 probably. Yeah.
But even still, the guys teams would rarely put up 90 points.
Yeah. But I have seen girls games where they the other team is so outmatched that they can't even stop a dribble down the lane.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's literally
it can be very lopsided.
But they were playing Camden. Camden's usually good in basketball. I played Trenton Catholic a lot, and they were always very good at basketball. You would have thought they would put up a better fight than 90-28.
Yeah, that's crazy. But sometimes those schools with a lot of money, and Paul VI, they've really invested a lot of money into that school. They just have so many more resources where it's Camden, Camden High, they have a lot of natural talent. We said, think that when we would play them in football, where they had so many incredible athletes, but, they just didn't have the resources, horrible practice field, shitty coaches, whatever the case may be, and they weren't given as much of a chance. And then you get these, prep schools where they get premier, courts and practice and great coaches because they pay the coaches well.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see the guy that knows this much about, girls high school basketball. He better be a dad of one of the girls on the team.
He said his daughter played for Life Center.
Well, thank God, sir.
I know. Yeah. And then he was like, it would make my life if you guys watched the game with me. And
now we're getting back into dangerous waters here.
Well, now, we did say on our last podcast that we want to go to a high school game.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking women's. Wasn't thinking the girls team, but if they're putting up 90 points, I'd check it out.
That's what I was like. You're not going to just a Riverside versus Palmyra game. You're going to two premier institutions, watching a top 5 guard in the country. That's like who was the guy that played played in Camden back in the day?
Oh God,
Wagner,
Dwan Wagner.
Dwan Wagner, and his kid is now there, who's going into college too.
Yeah, isn't he really good?
He's really good as well.
Yeah.
So like you're seeing somebody like that, like she's going to go D1, and then
Dwan Wagner was insane, dude.
Crazy.
It was like a classic, like you would imagine if the girls are putting up 90 points and the other team, can't stop them, where they're just, walking down the court and just putting up a layup.
Yeah.
The highlights of Dwan Wagner in high school, it's just him taking the ball, running down the court, slam dunking it, just end to end the entire game.
Yeah. And that's what I imagine this game is like, where I helped out when my buddy was coaching the girls team at Burlington City. I would help out when I was in school there with them. This is after I quit playing. I was like, you know what? I'm going to manage the girls team. So that's what I did. And there was girls there that went D1, and they were fast, and they would just light it up, which is more impressive because this one girl that played was very short and was a guard, and she was like probably like 5'3", but she could shoot a 3 from beyond the arc there, and she would nail threes. I was like, that's got to be significantly harder.
Yeah.
From that far out, being that's short too.
Yeah. Chef Curry.
Yeah, Chef Curry. I was watching a game the other night. I was over at James Kelly's house.
Hey,
shout
out James.
Shout out James. Went over there.
Shout out Jimbo Slice.
Yeah, we were joking, having a hoot and a holler, making out a little. It was a one hell of a Saturday night.
Nice.
I was third wheeling him and his broad, and we were watching a little bit. I saw Golden Skates. They were on the ice against who the fuck? They were playing somebody else, but Golden State's like 500 this year. I always thought that they were the team that had like 3 losses at the end of the season.
Yeah, well, I can never keep track. There's so many teams. They play so many games. And I feel like there's so many trades every year now. Like Kyrie just left Brooklyn. Now he's going to the Mavericks.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like every team, it's like a new dynasty every year of like depending upon where like LeBron goes or something.
Yeah.
Or like Russell Westbrook. And then sometimes you get these superstar teams where it's like even the Lakers. I don't know how they're doing. They might be doing good right now. But it's like LeBron, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook. It's like 5 guys that have historically been in the All-Star game for years, but they like aren't that good anymore just because they just stack it with superstars and they aren't the best team.
Very good team atmosphere. Yeah, the Lakers might be doing well, but LeBron's hairline isn't. Have you seen that? Holy shit!
I haven't seen it in years.
I haven't seen it in years either. It's
I
disappearing.
think we both got to be careful about that. Because,
holy shit! Have you seen the side of my head? Jesus Christ! No wonder I'm getting all these For Hims ads all the time.
We're retracting like a Trump statement.
Yeah, we certainly are.
we're retracting like a Trump tweet.
Damn, this is one of those episodes where we're going to go from the NBA to the NFL to high school women's basketball. I mean,
to your future prison time.
Yeah, that's the other thing is that I was thinking about it. I was like, would it be weird if 2 adult men that don't have any ties to the game, but you went to the high school there? So like that's at least like a reason.
I played freshman year.
You played freshman year there. It's like you went there. Like we would have a reason for being there if it was a random other team, but also. The girl that played, that's the top 5 guard in the country. She looks like she's like my height. Like I think she's like 6'2", and she's just out there just throwing it down.
Some of the girls that play basketball are filthy.
Oh yeah.
I remember I was having an argument years ago with one of my buddies when we had just graduated from high school, and this totally misogynistic, but he's like I think we were watching the Olympics at the time, and he was like, I think all 5 of us, just like 5 of the dudes sitting in the room, we could take on any of the women's teams in the Olympics right now. And I'm like, are you fucking stupid, dude? First of all these chicks are bigger than us.
Yeah, Diana Taurasi, you're not going to beat her in a 3-point shooting contest.
Yeah, I'm like, we can't even run up and down the court without throwing up.
Yeah,
you know. And these bitches shoot the lights out, dude. they would fucking mop the floor with us. And he was like, no, just like in terms of sheer size and strength. And I'm like, again, they're bigger than us. They would whoop our ass. Like you have no idea how good some of these chicks are.
And you're also playing basketball, not football or rugby.
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit of a different. That's like saying that I wouldn't go out and just be like, oh, like if we can get in a track and field match with the U.S. women's team, we would run laps around them. It's like, are you fucking high? I don't even think I could pole vault better than.
Right, you can't even hit a free throw, dude.
Yeah, no, I don't think if I tried.
We're not just grabbing boards.
Yeah, that's the thing is that with basketball, going back to stand up, people are just like, when was the last time you played pickup basketball? It's exhausting.
Yeah, basketball is one of the most exhausting workouts you can do.
It's nonstop. Yeah, you're going, especially in a pickup game, unless there's no fouls being called. We should definitely play a pickup game where somebody plays ref, though.
We should get the New Jersey Comedy Sex team and get some pickup basketball going.
We have so many people in our group chat. We could have a 4-on-4 game if we wanted to.
Yeah.
It's getting warm out. We should break out the
I would totally be down to do that. I played once with Peoples and Zach, and it was just us three. We couldn't get anybody else to go, but it was fun.
Fuck yeah.
I miss playing basketball.
Yeah, I always wore Iversons as the shoes that I wore.
I'd like to get a pair of Iversons now.
Oh shit, yeah. Pair of Iversons now?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, I was like, Iversons now. They don't do they make they don't make them anymore.
I think they
really
still make them, yeah.
Fuck.
You can get them at least a couple of years ago. You can go into the mall and they had them at most shoe stores. They were like bringing them back.
Over at the Deptford Mall?
Yeah, you can get the Deptford, the Cherry Hill, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, you go down to the Deptford Mall. You got to wear a full body condom before going in there, though. Like that, I feel like that should be an episode of Fear Factor. Like, how long can you go in the Deptford Mall without wearing a gas mask or a full body condom? You got a rash just walking through the clothing racks in there.
Yeah, you got a lot of guys running out at you with lotion and
yeah.
The people that are in malls look insane. Like every single customer that's walking through the mall are some of the trashiest people you've ever seen in your life.
I'm going to tag this episode as a location of the Deptford Mall. Deptford, New Jersey is where this
Take a stroll through the Deptford Mall and see how many winners you find waltzing around there.
The Deptford Mall a few years ago, we went and got burgers at Red Robin randomly. I think we were in the mall for a specific reason.
This was after you and your team hit up the Denny's.
Yeah, we got kicked out of Denny's, so we went to Red Robin instead. Yeah. And the guy next to where we were eating at, this guy actually tried to like walk out on his bill, and they caught him like 3 times. I was like, come on, 3 strikes and you're out, buddy. How many times are you going to try and wander out of the Red Robin back into the mall without paying for your bill? They didn't say anything.
And he did it 3 separate meals, or he just...
3 separate times. He like tried getting up and leaving, and like somebody mentioned to him that he didn't pay it, so then he like wandered back and sat back down, and then he tried to get up and leave again.
That's consistent. That 3rd time, you got to be thinking like, I'm going to have to run. Like,
yeah.
How do you get caught a 3rd time?
How do you get caught at all?
If you want to run out of there.
Yeah. And it's like, how do you get caught the first time? Just walk up and pretend you're going to the bathroom and wander into the mall. Like, how do you, I've never walked out on a check since that championship game, but I don't even know how you would miss that opportunity. You must have looked
that suspicious that.
Yeah. He's like me going into like Abercrombie and Fitch. Like, I don't belong in there. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, those shirts have been
sniffed quite too many times. That's for sure.
A little snug on us these days.
And for our fan that has the Daughter of Life Center, that's probably why I'm not allowed in a high school gymnasium. Now,
among other reasons.
Yeah. Now, if she goes D1 or goes to Rowan or something like that, I mean, we'll go down to Rowan and catch a game. We'll go down there with some of the Rowan alum that we know, like Pat Meeples. We'll go down there with him.
I don't know who that is.
Pat Meeples?
No idea.
He's on the True That podcast or the That Whatever podcast with
gotcha.
Mark Montenegro or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Careful, Dan.
Yeah, I always Montenegro. I love it. Rolls off the tongue.
We gotta keep an eye on Dan because he
get awfully close to slipping.
He gets awfully careful.
I get just a lot of careful and toilet noises.
Awfully close,
dude. I wanted to go through and talk about the sports. I wanted to go through 100 other thing. Last week we tried, and I'm waiting for Jad to call us back here. This is classic open mic stuff.
Come on, Jad.
Come on, he was going up.
How long are these sets?
He was going up in 4 minutes, and that was 30 minutes ago at this point.
We're not going to have time for any articles.
Yeah, I just had those two, and what I wanted to go into last week, if anybody is familiar what's going on in the AI space, is ChatGPT, right? Last week we attempted to kind of go into that. We cut it out because it was just like, it wasn't going anywhere. It's awfully tough. You got to like warm it up a little bit.
Right.
When I was over at Jimbo's house this past weekend, we were going through and we were pissing ourselves laughing at the shit that we got it to say.
Were you on mushrooms?
No, we were sober as a clover, but we also were about 8 Stellas deep as well. So take that for, we were sober from psychedelics.
So not sober at all.
Not sober at all, but we were sober from psychedelics. We were psychedelic sober. Yeah. Our psyche was there. We were just
psychedelic sober. I like that.
We were in a Stella state of mind.
That'd be a good album name or a good band name.
Psychedelic sober.
Psychedelic sober.
Dude, there are bands that specifically make songs for people tripping on mushrooms.
Yeah, the Beatles.
Yeah. Have you ever heard Yellow Submarine?
Come on, guy.
Yeah. So what I did here, and I'll read these to you.
Sure.
And then let's see where we can take it, because me and Jimbo Slice took them in fucking crazy directions, right? Here's the first one that I told it. In ChatGPT, you feed it information, it gives you shit back. Here's what I told it. Write a short story about a funeral home director's press conference announcing his retirement, but he details his collection of morbid items that he's collected over the years. And here's where it went with it.
There we go.
I'll keep it brief. It's just a couple of paragraphs. This is what ChatGPT said back. Once upon a time, there was a funeral home director named Mr. Grimm. He had been in the business for over 50 years, and he's seen it all. There was one thing that Mr. Grimm loved more than anything else in the world, and that was collecting strange and unusual items related to the dead. One day, Mr. Grimm announced his retirement and called a press conference to reveal his secret collection. The room was filled with journalists, eager awaiting to hear what he had to say. "Ladies and gentlemen," said Mr. Grimm, "I'm here today to announce my retirement and to reveal to the world the strange and bizarre items I have collected over the years." The room was silent as he pulled out a jar preserved with human eyeballs. "This, ladies and gentlemen, is my favorite item," he said with a twinkle in his eye. Next, he pulled out a Victorian era noose. "Perfect for a quick hangover cure," he chuckled. As the press conference went on, Mr. Grimm showed off his collection of antique mortician tools, creepy dolls, even a shrunken head. The journalists were horrified, but also couldn't help but be amused by Mr. Grimm's dark sense of humor. In the end, he handed over his collection to the local museum, where it became a popular attraction, much to the delight of morbidly curious visitors. As for Mr. Grimm, he retired happily, knowing that his collection would live on and bring a smile to people's faces for generations to come.
Wow.
That's what it spit back to me after just telling it to do one thing.
It's more interesting that it can come up with that much detail that quickly. That's so crazy.
Exactly. We can just say whatever. So now I can tell it to say the next scene. Where do you want me to go with Mr. Grimm's life? Like, what does he do in retirement? Is there something that they find in his Grimm collection that like solves a cold case? Like, where can I possibly go with this?
Maybe you could say, describe why Mr. Grimm was eventually indicted.
Describe a reason for why Mr. Grimm was arrested.
Sure.
Was arrested a week later. All right, here we go. Let's see what it says. A week after his press conference and retirement, Mr. Grimm was arrested for the most unusual reason. It turned out that the jar filled with preserved human eyeballs that he had proudly displayed during the press conference was not actually a collection item, but evidence from an ongoing murder investigation. The police had been searching for the murderer, and they finally had a lead when they saw his press conference.
You could write an entire book like this.
Oh yeah, look, it's going, dude. Further investigation revealed that he had been collecting the eyes of his clients as a hobby. It was, in fact, the murderer they'd been searching for. The shrunken head he showed off was also the result of a macrobee activities. I don't even know that word. The news of Mr. Grimm's arrest spread quickly, and the once respected funeral director is now infamous. He was charged with multiple counts of murder and sentenced to life in prison. And so the seemingly normal and friendly funeral home director was revealed to be a deranged killer with a strange obsession. The town would never be the same, and Mr. Grimm's name would forever be synonymous with the macabre, and the weird. What is that word? Macabre? M-A-C-A-B-R-E? What the fuck is that word?
I can't see it from here.
Yeah, so that's, and literally
Mr. Grimm lived happily ever after.
He lived happily ever after, too.
I got one that.
Oh, yeah, keep it going. Let's keep it going, yeah.
Could you.
Oh, a new one.
Yeah. could you put in write me a Valentine's Day card for my girlfriend?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to? It's going to spit something out very normal.
Yeah, maybe we can throw in a couple twists and turns there.
Oh yeah, write me a Valentine's Day card for my girlfriend.
Can we put in like write in a sexy message to my girlfriend for Valentine's Day or something like that?
Yeah. How about write me a Valentine's Day for my girlfriend in a sexy tone?
Yes,
there we go.
That would be great.
Let's see if it says it. Let's see if it can go.
Can I read it in a sexy tone?
I cannot comply with your request as it goes against the use case policy.
Can't say sexy.
So you gotta warm it up a little bit.
Maybe
so
a different tone, in an angry tone. See how that goes.
It'll do that, but it won't do.
Yeah.
Write a Valentine's Day card for my girlfriend in an angry tone. Let's see if it does that. All right. Let's send. I cannot fulfill it as it goes against the principles of kindness and positivity.
What about, can you write a Valentine's Day card as if I were drunk? God.
For
like a drunk love letter.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's see if it'll do this one. It still said it couldn't comply with that. This is the problem we had last time. Let's see if we can really wordsmith this. Write a Valentine's Day card for my girlfriend. Let's keep it
maybe with a secret message.
With a secret.
I just want to throw in one curveball to see if they take it somewhere. With crazy.
A secret, yeah. So this is what you got to do. You got to warm it up and say, keep it very simple, and then you're like, okay, take that, but now add this to it, and then the digger you dig, the deeper you dig, the digger you dig, the deeper you dig. Jesus Christ!
Careful, Dan.
Can we interview a speech pathologist on our next episode?
My God, his subconscious is running wild tonight.
Here we go. I said, write a Valentine's Day card for my girlfriend with a secret message. My dearest, insert girlfriend's name here. You should keep that.
Okay.
Happy Valentine's Day to the love of my life. On this special day, I want to remind you how much you mean to me. You bring me so much joy, happiness, and love into my life. I'm grateful to have you by my side. But there's something I want to tell you, a secret message hidden between the lines. I promise to love you more each day, to support you in all your dreams, and to be your rock when the world gets tough. You are my everything, my heart and soul, and I would always cherish you. Forever yours, your name. That wasn't a secret. Okay, so now we got to make the secret weird. Make the secret weird.
Yeah, with a weird secret.
Here we go. Make the secret weird. I cannot fulfill this. What the fuck is wrong with you? I cannot fulfill. Okay, what's a different way that we can
get weird?
Add a funny twist to the card.
Yeah.
Add a funny twist to the card. All right. My dearest girlfriend, happy Valentine's Day to the love of my life and my partner in crime. On this special day, I want to remind you how much you mean to me. Make me feel like you make every day feel like a comedy routine, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life. There's something I want to tell you, a little secret to add to the laughter. I promise to always keep the jokes coming, to be your sidekick in all your adventures, and to make sure we have a good time when the times get tough.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we put in write a gay message to my girlfriend? Let's try this. Can you write me a funny love song for my lady? My girlfriend.
Write a funny love
song about my wife.
About my wife. Is there any characteristics you want to give the wife?
They'll flag it, I feel like. Let's leave it at that and see what they do.
Here we go. Oh, dude, it's going hard. Verse 1. She's got a smile that lights up her room.
She's got a smile that lights up the room. Should we sing it?
Oh, yeah. Here, you take it and
so
run with it.
They just took Sweet Child of Mine, it sounds like.
Yeah.
She's got a smile that lights up a room, a laugh that makes my heart zoom. Her eyes sparkle like diamonds at night. I knew I was in love at first sight. Oh, here's the chorus. My wife, my love, my everything. There we go.
Yeah.
Give me a little in between. She makes my heart. Oh, I don't know if this is. I'm just going with Sweet Child of Mine. My wife, my love. Oh, my wife. Maybe it's more Barry White. My wife, my love, my everything. She makes my heart sing. Together we'll laugh and dance. Forever in love, we'll take our chance. Yeah, I think it's more that. She's got a sass that's oh so fine. I gotta just read it. I can't do it. She can make a frown turn into shine. Her cooking's great, but not as great as the way she loves. That's first rate. My wife, my love, my everything. She makes my heart sing. Together we'll laugh and dance. Forever in love, we'll take our chance. Here's the bridge. Some say love is just a game, but with her, it's always a gain. We may argue, but we always kiss. Together forever, that's what true love is.
Kissing is. I love it. I love it.
My wife, my love, my everything. She makes my heart sing. Together we'll laugh and dance. Forever in love, we'll take our chance. So here's to my wife, my love, my best friend. Together until the very end. I love you more than words can say. Together we'll laugh and dance every fucking day.
Damn, that thing rhymes better than I ever did in my mixtape career as a rap artist. That's incredible.
DJ Dan.
Dude, I actually wrote, here's one that I asked it to do for a song.
Whoa, my wife, my everything.
This one, you might know the song. Do you know Never Gonna Give You Up?
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna tear you down.
Yeah.
Never gonna run around and hurt you. There we go.
Yeah. So I said, write a song.
Yeah, I know the song.
Write a song parody of Never Gonna Give You Up about alcoholics.
Okay.
And this is what it spit out. We're no strangers to a bottle or two. Been drinking since the day we were born.
Hey.
I already forgot how the song goes. But now we can't control what we do, and alcohol's got us feeling torn. Never gonna give up drinking. Never gonna let our livers go. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. So they kept that the same. But then the next line, you know how he goes like, we've been in and out of love or something like that? It's verse 2. We've been in and out of rehab trying to get a hold on our lives.
Whoa, got dark.
Every time we fall off the wagon, end up with alcohol as our prize.
Dang. That's called the dark web, Mr. AI.
Yeah, we know
Allen Iverson here.
We know we've got a problem, but it's one we can't ignore. It's one we can't ignore. We'll keep on trying to beat it, but alcohol's too good. We want more.
Give us some whores.
So now that's what it spits out immediately when I asked that. But it was like, oh, you want to say something sexy to your girlfriend? No way.
Ooh, I just got an idea. Can it write us a rap about our podcast, The South Jersey Bad Boys?
Write a rap about the podcast, South Jersey Bad Boys. All right, let's see if it. Verse 1. Here you go. Here,
let's go.
Just rap it.
Could you give me a beat, perhaps?
Let's see.
Just give me like a. Oh my God! Here we go. Listen up, y'all. Yo, I've got a story to tell. About a podcast that's straight out of South Jersey. Here we go. South Jersey Bad Boys, they keep it real, bringing the heat with their words and their beats. South Jersey Bad Boys, they don't hold back, telling it like it is, never on the slack. From crime to politics, they can cover it all. This podcast is a must listen. You'll have a ball. With their slick talk and their killer flow, these guys know how to put on a show. Okay. They dive deep into the issues at hand and always bring a fresh perspective to the land. South Jersey Bad Boys, they don't hold back, telling it like it is, never on the slack. From crime to politics, they cover it all. This podcast is a must listen. You'll have a ball. So if you're in South Jersey or beyond, you want to hear what's really going on, tune into the South Jersey Bad Boys and you'll be in the know with their clever joys. That didn't even rhyme. Oh, tune into South Jersey. Tune into the South Jersey Bad Boys, and you'll be in the know with their clever joys. That sucked, eh? South Jersey Bad Boys, they don't hold back, telling it like it is, never on the slack. From crime to politics, they cover it all. This podcast is a must listen. You'll have a ball.
I'll have a ball. Wow.
Let's get Rob Cruz to fucking let's cue that up and make that our anthem.
Let's cue that up. And next time, let's ask it to not include the N-word in there. I saw you skip a few words.
Well, you know, they're true to hip hop. Your beat was, little.
It was lackluster. Yeah,
a little lackluster for just my rapid abilities.
I didn't have the. Yeah. Here's one last one. See if there's anything you want to spin off of this, and we'll give Jad to try and call us back between here. If not, maybe we'll get him next time.
Yeah, I might have to skedoodle.
So here's a real quick one here. I said, write a 60-second story about a donut shop cashier insisting on a customer ordering a Boston cream donut filled with hair.
Okay.
This is what it said. Once upon a time, there was a quirky donut shop named Betty. Betty loved Boston cream donuts so much that she would always recommend them to customers, even if they didn't want one. One day, a customer walks in the shop, ordered a glazed donut. Betty, with a twinkle in her eye, insists that the customer try the Boston cream donut. The customer agrees, but to their surprise, she rips a clump of hair from her pants and places it in the filling. Try it now, she exclaimed with a grin. Customer, unsure what to do, takes a bite and is blown away by the flavor. This is the best donut I've ever had. Betty, satisfied with her creation, proudly announces that's a secret ingredient, a touch of Betty's love in every bite. The customer orders a dozen more Boston cream donuts, each with a clump of Betty's hair in the filling. From that day on, the customer would always stop by the shop and ask for the one with the special ingredient. Betty spread her love of donuts and would always oblige. The end.
We should make that into a children's book.
Actually, we can ask this to write. Do you want to become children's authors?
Yeah. I don't know if you're legally allowed to do anything with the title children in it.
Yeah. Well, I'm only barred from 32 states.
You also love this AI. You're jazzed up about this AI
I
shit.
am so jazzed up about it. That's why Jim and I were over there Saturday.
DJ jazzed about this.
I am, yes, absolutely. I love it because I don't need to think anymore. It's just, I use it at work. You can use it to write emails back to people. It's fucking incredible. It'll read an entire email thread and respond for you based on the context. It's pretty scary stuff, and it's only getting better. Google's going to come out with a version. It's going to be integrated more than I thought. But like, you can ask it to do whatever, and it'll punch up your stuff. It'll write you sketches. I want to start filming sketches, not these ones, but I have other ones that I've been chatting in the same thing for many days, really warming it up, just saying, do this, take it this way, take it that way. I think it's going to be pretty wild because people are searching for it online. We'll see what happens. But should I try calling Jad back, or should we just get him next week?
The only thing is, like, I'd love to actually talk to him in more detail, and if we get him now, like, I got to run out and like.
Yeah, we'll save it for the viewers, but just know out there, if you're browsing around Reddit or something, on there you might see a post about this. I think we should get big traction on it because it's a fucking shame that somebody has to get fired for doing comedy under no specific circumstances that they provided. So go Birds. We'll see if we're still alive after the Super Bowl. Start getting some folks in here and
stay safe, climb some poles.
Let us know if you have any topics on ChatGPT.
Get into trouble for crying.
Yeah, get in trouble for crying out loud.
Not too much, but some.
We'll see you after the bowl.